Good afternoon, acolytes. The Nerd Council of Doom assembles for its year-end review of our plans to dominate the world through nerddom and plan for a glorious 2026. And I am joined today, fresh off of his family's raid on the Chinese restaurants. We have the Dungeon Minister.
Hello.
And holding down the fort, the man who somehow drew the lucky straw in the warm section, where he's totally not in an abandoned missile silo in the swamp. We have the Dungeon Delver.
Greetings. No, I certainly am not sitting in a missile silo that I had my androbots seize from the United States government and am currently holding as my own prop. That's not the case at all. I'm just a humble dungeon delver sitting here in a garage. Yes, a garage that has been converted to a studio use. Yes, that is the case. That is where I am. Not surrounded by Minuteman III missiles. No, not in the least.
I'm in a Canadian missile silo. It's full of maple syrup missiles. If anyone bothers Canada, we just launch maple syrup at them, and they get all sticky, and flies bother them.
There's probably a subreddit for that.
Yes, probably one of the not safe for works ones as well.
Yes.
Don't open it.
Well, gentlemen, it has been a year of trials and tribulations, of highs and lows, of goods and bads, of sweets and sours. I think I speak for the rest of us when I say, thank God it's almost over. But before we get to the official end of the year whatnots, we have a little bit of news. And that is supposedly the CEO of Wizards of the Coast has said that, yes, in fact, they will be using AI for Dungeons and Dragons, which I think pretty much everyone will collectively say, ah. But
I think everyone collectively says, yeah. we know that we already know you're doing it.
Yes. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, because I did I did a whole series of videos about it on my channel, when they got caught using AI on Magic the Gathering cards. They got caught using AI in D&D book art and everything, and they threw a big defensive sort of, whoa, okay, look, first of all, that's contractor. We didn't know. We had no idea. That has nothing to do with us. Of course, we wouldn't use AI. We've got whole policies about AI, and they showed their AI policy. No, we're not going to use AI. Absolutely not. Yes, by which I mean, yes, absolutely, we're going to use AI in as much stuff as we can. AI DMing, AI players, AI money, AI company. We don't actually exist. We're running on one of those Raspberry Pi superclusters you can build for $230 with advice from a tech bro on eBay. Or YouTube, rather.
So
I think that's where we're at with Wizards of the Coast and their acceptance of abominable intellect.
And speaking of abominable, much like the snowman, I will play Krampus's advocate and ask you guys, are there any accessible uses for AI with a game system such as Dungeons and Dragons?
I would say it's about scale and accessibility. If you're Mr. Small and you're doing something, there's no way you can afford, to be paying for a volume of art. There are times and places for these things. Because frankly, even a beginning artist is going to be charging an amount that you're going to get the cover done, maybe, right? But when you're a corporation of that size, yeah, you can afford to pay people. You can afford to pay people. Yeah, maybe feed in the monster manual and generate me a random monster encounter table for a swamp. As if that hasn't already been done. But fine. Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, so I've played with ChatGPT and Grok and a few other free and open AI LLMs out there. And they can't take the place of a flesh and blood DM.
No.
So as an experiment, I paid for the premium tier of ChatGPT. It's $20 a month. So I put $20 in, and I fed it. I fed it the Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Monster Manual, the PDFs for first edition AD&D. I said, here, boom. Here's the module for Keep on the Borderlands. That's the boilerplate, the lingua franca. And I said, run this adventure for me as a 5th level character so I can solo this dungeon. Let's do this. And it was like, sure thing. This sounds like a lot of fun. Boy, first edition AD&D is a classic, M-. I think this is going to be a very cool experiment. And character generation right off the bat, it kept throwing in stuff from 5th edition.
Your tiefling bard rogue elven fighter.
Yeah, exactly. So, I had to guide it back to that. And then, again, this was a thought experiment. This was not a case of, I thought I could get a quality D&D game out of it. So I sat there with a module and I said, okay, I've got some base equipment. I don't really want to visit the keep. Let's just go into the caves. I'm going to go into the caves over in X. And it just started fabulating. Like it and I asked, I said, are you sure this is the module Keep on the Borderlands? Absolutely. We're playing the classic Gary Gygax module, the Keep on the Borderlands. And then it kind of told me some of the broad details of the Keep on the Borderlands. And I said, you're sure that's what we're adventuring in? Absolutely. And it was just making stuff up, which is good in that it's an improvisational DM. Yay. It was enjoyable from that standpoint, but it was certainly not playing. It was not taking the material I gave it and recreating a Keep on the Borderlands run. And the point of all of that is that it's miles wide. Generative AI for tabletop can be miles wide, but guys, it's a millimeter deep right now.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and the third time you got into a cavern that was a gnome bakery coffee shop, it got a little annoying, I'd imagine.
I can honestly say it did not throw at me the whole, it's like, oh, there's 2 dwarves running this bakery and they're life partners, or anything like that. It cleaved as best it could to a classic Dungeons and Dragons feel.
That's good. Well, so there you actually uncover a use for AI that would be valid. If you can't find a group, if either online play doesn't do it for you, or you're not finding a group that meshes with you, if you can't find a group live, you could use it for solo adventuring, even if it's not going to follow the module you want to follow. You could use it for generative, solo play, and
From
that might be a use.
From an AD&D standpoint, I would say you'd almost it's been years since I've gone extensively through basic and expert. I've never really looked at the BECMI or the Rules Compendium Dungeon Minister. This is your bailiwick, so you can correct me here. But in AD&D, there are whole appendices for creating random solo dungeon adventures. Like as you play them in C2, you can crack open the Dungeon Master's Guide and just start playing that way, and it can be a lot of fun. And I would imagine that like here, for example, Michael's got here says Jack McCarthy's interview, he's half successfully using AI for solo gaming, but it requires actual projects set up with multiple document folders, etc. I would say that AI could probably take away the tedium of, let's check every 30 feet to see if there's a spur hallway off of this. And if we go into a room, what are the contents of it? That's something you can do with AI.
Yeah, if you wanted to run solo without doing both roles, essentially, which, I mean, I know there's a generative thing, or as a randomized appendix in AD&D. There isn't a thing like that in BECMI, but there's obviously solo modules, but then once you've run them and you kind of know where everything is. But if you wanted to have a spontaneous new thing that you didn't have to then flip around and do the work to get it from random table to, if you just wanted to plug in and play something, that would be something you could do. And I could see that. That's, and then it does spool off into whatever, and you end up getting, as long as you're willing to get kind of whatever out of it, if you're not seeking sort of a purity of system out of it, that's a possible use,
Yes. And that falls along with my idea of what it could be used well for. And I don't think AI is really going to be great for tabletop games where you are supposed to be playing with other people, especially if you are sitting with them in the same room. I think there's a little more leeway if you're doing it online, but even then, it's not great. I don't think it's great for art for several reasons. One of them being you need somebody directing the art. You need somebody to have their hand on the wheel, and even if people kind of sort of used it as a tool, I don't think it can successfully replace an art department. Although I will agree, if you have no art talent and you're a single creator, I can understand why you'd want to use it. You got to beware. But yes. Well, this is it here. Jay says, just play RPG video game or play online DM instead. I think in video games, AI will be great.
No.
So if we go back to, was it last year or 2 years ago, Baldur's Gate 3 came out. And there's a bit of weirdness.
I can't get past the bear. I don't play video games. The other thing is I don't do video games. I just don't. The last video game I played was Riven, which isn't even a video game. It's a slide game,
Well, that is true, but D&D has been synonymous with video games since the 80s. There's been a lot of fantastic early, I'm thinking Pool of Radiance, we've got Neverwinter Nights, the earlier Baldur's Gates. And in playing Baldur's Gates 3, it was a very well done game. The problem is it really doesn't have that much replayability because you already know where all the secrets are. You know where all the mobs are. So if you had AI, which could make a generative game that, humans have already done all the art assets. You've got various storylines, but you use the AI for quite a bit of sandbox type gaming. I think that would be great. If I'm going to pay, I don't even remember what Baldur's Gate was. Let's just say $100. If I'm going to play $100, I want a game that I can play many times over. So for that, I would say yes. to AI, just in the sense of where are the traps, redesigning dungeons, maybe having different outcomes with different factions being influential at different times. I could get down with that, but for the average actual game that you want to play with real people, dicey.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know DMs who've said, yeah, when I'm stuck, like literally just sitting there, it's 3 hours to game time. I'm holding my head in my hands, and like nothing is. We're between adventure A and adventure B. Nothing is coming to mind. They'll open up Grok or ChatGPT or whatever and type, I need a woodsy type fantasy adventure for a D&D game.
Right.
And it's, if nothing else, it's a group of adventure seeds that they can that they can sort of spin some ideas off of.
Right.
I just don't, I've talked before about how there's a case, and I believe it was Tim Kask who called Gary Gygax on the phone. He had a D&D question for him, and the phone conversation went on for hours, and it turned into, well, let's just play a session of D&D over the phone. And that's a good thing. That's the use of an electronic connection in playing D&D. But I would hate it if Gary had jumped up and said, wait, no, this is perfect. This is, from now on, I'm just going to publish D&D as though it's supposed to be played over the telephone. Like first you have to call somebody on the phone. If you don't get them on the phone, you're not playing D&D. And what I fear from Wizards of the Coast is, unlike Gary saying, hey, yeah, this actually works, you can play D&D over the phone, isn't that neat? Or us, when we discovered probably ourselves with BBS chat systems, on multi-line BBSs, and then IRC, and then MIRC, and AOL chat, and all the way up to modern VTTs, when we said, hey, this is another way to play D&D, that Wizards of the Coast is taking the wrong lesson away from that, saying, hey, using generative AI in D&D is kind of cool. That's how we're going to present it from now on. I don't want them to take that lesson away. And we all know, all of us and everyone in the audience knows straight away that Wizards of the Coast typically takes the worst lessons and the worst takes away from things. They don't take a thing and learn it. And it goes back to TSR. I was researching a short today. TSR, did you know that TSR released a board game called Dragon Strike, and it did pretty well. It sold 100,000 copies, and people liked it. It was a good intermediate step game between D&D and kids games. And TSR's reaction to that, after they sold 100,000 copies, and their marketing people said, yeah, we think another run of 50,000 is in order. At that point, front management was Lorraine Williams, and she said, no, order 150,000 because more will sell more. And it backfired on them, and they lost money on the deal. They took the long wrong play on that. And whatever company owns D&D, their thinking hasn't gotten much better since then. And my fear is that Wizards of the Coast will go, if a little bit of AI is good for D&D, a ton of AI is just a whole lot better. And, they'll ruin it.
That sounds like me at the Chinese buffet today.
Tell us about the Chinese buffet.
If a little kung pao pork is good, a whole plate full will be better.
I mean,
Sorry.
Chinese for dinner.
I just moving. There's a whole bunch of food moving through my system right now, and I'm having trouble ignoring that fact.
Didn't need to know that. Didn't need you to describe it that way. Thank you. Although I will say in our global takeover, we will allow diplomatic immunity and accepted neutrality for all Chinese restaurants, provided you are a storefront in a strip mall. Those are the only good.
Yes.
Precisely where we were. Precisely where we were.
And if you are being rated on your cleanliness, nothing above a C.
Yeah.
Because we all know those that get A's they're just sad imitations.
Yes, exactly. The best Chinese restaurants are the ones you go in. There are booths, but like 4 or 6 at most. Yeah. Half of those are piled up with flats of sodas, boxes of napkins, or the empty cartons thereof. One of the booths is taken up by the son or daughter of the owner. She's out there doing trig. She's like 8 years old, and she's out there doing trig and analytical calc homework. The temperature in the place is hot. It doesn't matter if it's 30 degrees outside. If you had to wade through 3 feet of snow, when you get in that place, it's going to be uncomfortably sticky and warm. But the food is going to be phenomenal. The food is going to be absolutely amazing.
So this place is more factory than actual restaurant, but it's it's an orgy of overconsumption.
Once again, going to have to ask you not to use that word, but
I mean,
we have talked to you, Father.
I mean, we really need to test the limits, and thankfully, the Dungeon Minister is helping us to determine exactly when does it cross into sinful gluttony territory, and you don't know until you cross that line.
We've got AI monitoring it. Actually, that's.
Up there from the 1 to 9 position, I think we have at least 2 of the cardinal sins going on.
You're talking about using AI to generate story hooks. You just can't think of anything. So they last time we played, they were wandering into a swamp. What do I do in a swamp? I remember when the version of that was, what did the A-team do last week? How can I turn that into medieval, right? What is Knight Rider up to? Can I make that into a fantasy kind of thing? Can I and I don't know what they'd watch now. I mean, like what's happening on
Stranger Things?
Well, Stranger Things kind of 1 to 1.
Stranger Things, Has Been Hotel.
No.
I had a friend who he was living in Southern California when Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom came out. And none of the group had seen it. They went over to their friend's house. He had seen it, like they were all hyped about seeing it when it came out over the weekend. And the friend knew people who got him into an early screening, and he ran that as a Call of Cthulhu adventure the day before they went. And they went into the movie theater and sat down and watched it. And they realized, like, as soon as the story points started hitting, they realized that he had run that entire thing as an adventure for them already. They were pissed. They were so pissed at him.
Well, really, though, when the Indiana Jones movies, when Goonies came out, after Goonies came out for like a year, everyone's campaign was about pirates in caves and stuff.
I have a confession to make, Nerd Council. I don't like Goonies. I've never liked that movie.
All right, excommunication. Yeah.
Excommunication. Agreed.
I'm sorry. There's just a part of my soul that's joyless, and that's where that movie fell. And I can't.
You are such a boomer.
I don't like that movie. I'm sorry. I don't.
Boomer.
And speaking of Stranger Things, we are now at the 10th anniversary of the first season of Stranger Things. We have kids who are supposed to be 15-year-olds who clearly are in their 30s.
5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah. 11 at this point is 33 or 22.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the actress is married and has adopted a kid as well.
Hello, fellow teenagers.
Yeah, that's what it's starting to feel like.
Meme.
But in something has happened this season, which reminds me of my early YouTube career, when I would intentionally say something wrong in every video, just because then I knew nerds would complain in the comment section, and any complaint was like a plus as far as YouTube was concerned, any interaction. And there is a controversy in season 5, which we shall not spoil it. The season is halfway through, except to say that one of the characters tells another, it's like in our D&D group when you're the sorcerer. And furor has erupted on the internet, saying that, well, the sorcerer was not added until
Actually,
until 3rd edition. You could go to hell, Stranger Things. All 10 years that I watched it are now ruined. How much does this really matter? Does it now? Yes, of course, it was not in AD&D, which I believe they were supposed to be playing. But does it really matter that much? Does it ruin your enjoyment of the game? I'm going to bring that over to the Dungeon Delver first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, two things. First of all, in an interview that dropped, which, let's be honest, they could not have said this at the beginning of any previous season, because I think the bloom would have been off the rose. But the Duffer Brothers have flat out said, yeah, we didn't play D&D. We weren't D&D guys. We grew up playing Magic the Gathering. D&D was kind of an old person's game from us. That's not exactly what they said, so I don't want people to
you should. People should leave your comments down below this video.
D is for old people.
A sorcerer is a level title for a magic user in AD&D. I think it's either 8th or 9th level. Merlin's Gandalf. Yeah, he's got the right of it. It's a 9th level magic user in AD&D. That's not going to negatively impact my D&D process. I meet so many people who like love and cherish and embrace 1st edition AD&D and even OD&D, and they'll throw around terms like magic. They'll interchangeably use magic user, sorcerer, wizard, what have you. I prefer magic user and then the level titles. But again, there's people my age who'll say, we never use level titles, and magic user makes you sound like a thaumaturgical effects janitor. So
you gotta be careful not to take too much to wizard when you're in battle.
I've never felt like them doing that was that much of a big deal. I look at it like this. Have you guys ever seen the episode of Community called Advanced Dungeons and Dragons?
I have not, but I have heard of it, which is supposed to be great if you can actually find it on a streaming service.
It is. It was out for a long time because one of the players shows up in drow body makeup, proper AD&D drow body makeup, which means he was obsidian. And one of the characters makes a comment about him being in blackface. And of course it's not, but the episode is hilarious. While they are playing, they are constantly pulling AD&D books out, and the books all belonged to Dan Harmon, who was the showrunner and creator of Community. He basically brought in his AD&D books, and he fought NBC tooth and nail to make this them playing AD&D. They were like, look, couldn't we have this as like the B plot of the show, or we just make up something vaguely D&D? And he said, I stood my ground. I got impassioned about it to the point of tears. And I said, no, they are playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. They're playing the D&D that I played. And it was he gave, as terrible as Dan Harmon could be, it was an impassioned defense of AD&D, and it made for an amazing episode. During the episode, sitting out on the table were 4th edition, because that was the D&D edition that was hot at the time. There were 4th edition books in amongst the AD&D books, probably because they went to Hasbro Wizards of the Coast and said, we want to do this with your permission. Okay, promote the current edition. Okay, how do we do that? Here's some prop books. Fine. And they scattered them around. Slipping up and calling a character a sorcerer is, to my mind, the same kind of sop.
No, really though, like I play back me where it's magic user is the class, and we'll say the wizard, he's going after the wizard.
Yeah.
Like, what's the deal, right? It's the same, but I think people for whom that ruins it are the same people who are like, well, Tom Bombadil wasn't in the movie, so I don't like Lord of the Rings, right? First of all, what would that do to the plot? It would just slow the movie down to a crawl and utterly undercut the power of the ring, which you can do in a book. Yeah. Well, you don't like Goonies, so your opinion doesn't matter anymore. But so it, like, these little things are not. If that's ruining it for you, you were looking for it to get ruined, I think. You were just looking for some reason to dislike it. Drow face, I like that.
So, Dungeon Delver, have you watched the episodes of season 5 that have come out yet?
No, I have not yet. I'm basically I'm waiting for it to end, and then I'm gonna binge. Then we're just gonna have a binge day, because damn it, that's what streaming was made for. It was made to binge. Yes. I want to watch 10 episodes. I want to get up at 9 a.m. and put Magnum PI on and watch the entire first season as I go about my day. Right. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s and lived through the 90s and even the early 2000s. Dang it. Streaming was supposed to be the, I watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it. Not, I have to wait till next week, and if I missed it this week, I'm just SOL. Unless I have one of those $500 video cassette recorder things. I'm waiting till it. I'm waiting till it drops, and then I'm gonna watch them all. You know what? In January, when we have the NCOD for January, I'll give my opinions then.
Okay.
Growing up, you talk about that. If you missed it, you missed it kind of thing. Growing up, there were 2 channels that they were both NBC affiliated, but they were, for whatever reason, they were about a half hour apart in their scheduling. And I don't know if one was I think one was coming in from Indiana. Or from Michigan, we were getting the signal from the other side of the, I don't know, because it's supposed to be running contemporary. Anyway, the point is they would run the stuff and you could get it later on another channel, or they'd rerun it that evening or something later that night. So if you missed a show and you could beg your parents to stay up later, you could still see it that day. You just see it like 3 hours later or something. I can't remember what the math of it was, but there were 2 channels. If you missed it on 39, you could pick it up on 47 or whatever the math was. Brilliant. Sorry, that had nothing to do with anything, but when you talked about missing the show.
Time zones.
Yeah.
By the way, I did want to mention this one thing. The community episode, and it is what is the number here? Season 2, episode 14. It came back in 2024 on Peacock, which is NBC, the company that produced it, and then Hulu, who are Disney, by the way, added it back just this past July. So nice. You can. It's not just like deities and demigods, guys. It's not rare It's not there. There's no legal controversy. It's not banned. It's not forbidden. You can go watch it on Peacock or Hulu. That it's paywalled. You know, you gotta get those services. You can't just run out and watch it unless you want to raise the Jolly Roger. But I make no moral judgments about that. That's up to you. So
well,
it is back just for Merlinster, Gandalore, and anyone else, Drowface aside. It is back. So
I have seen the first 4, and I will not give a full review. Perhaps we will spend some time in January. But I will say, it had some people were predicting that, like most modern media, that they would absolutely screw up the ending, and I will say so far they have not. Is it my favorite season? I don't know about that, but it is in the middle. It suffices. Things are explained. They are actually wrapping up loose threads. So,
that's refreshing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I haven't seen that in 3 seasons. That's interesting. But
or in many modern media at all. They're usually good at just throwing down threads and never going back to them.
Yes. Well, I mean, now, in all fairness, they still have, I believe, 5 episodes that they could screw it up in. However, so far, it actually seems like they, want to end it nicely for the fans, which is weird. I kind of feel strange. But we will leave my review there. So, gentlemen, it is almost that time. It is the Dungeon Minister's almost busiest time of the year. Yeah. We have Christmas coming up. That's right. It is today, as of this recording, Saturday, December 20th, which means you need to get those gifts today. What are you doing? Why haven't you finished your shopping?
Yes.
I will be right back.
He's running off to go shopping. Well, while Dungeon Minister's away, I have a few suggestions for the last minute. Just a couple, 2 or 3 suggestions, if I may. Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. Well, first up, as you guys know, of course, I'm the classic D&D guy, and really, there's no. In my opinion, I'm gonna put this up here. Don't add it yet, Yang. But
all right.
let me let it build. We love classic TTRPG around here. We love classic D&D around here. And when I saw this first item pop up, I was over the moon. Now, the good news is, and this is going to seem a little strange when I say this, the good news is it's not available yet. So you don't have to worry about shipping or anything like that. The bad news is, if you're one of those folks that you insist on getting something physical in your gift receiver's hands, it kind of pushes it out a little. And I don't know why they tend to do these things in spring and summer. This would be ideal for the holidays. So go ahead and post that up, Yang, if you would. Did I share you the link? This is from Fanatics Dice, and what this is, these are the adventurers who break into the Red Dragon's lair, and of course the Red Dragon itself, featured in the David Sutherland cover to the Holmes rulebook and the Holmes basic set. This is a lovely set, and that is not plastic, by the way. These are metal miniatures that they are including. So we have not just the dragon itself, because can I reach it without knocking stuff down? I cannot. I think I have the box here. Yes. WizKids actually makes a plastic miniature of this right here. It's pre-painted. But this is a set of metal miniatures of the entire encounter with the archer, with the wizard. And what's interesting about this is pewter. If you guys remember, what was the what was the mall store where you could get pens and little statuettes and stuff like that throughout the 80s?
Spencer's Gifts.
Yes.
No,
That was the one that had slightly risque, maybe not.
Yeah,
appropriate for your
Spencer,
kid.
the back wall of Spencer's. You
Yeah,
didn't want to get caught back there by your parents, but there was Spencer's. There was like something and things I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
But
and things.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is a pewter set, not specifically a white metal set, and so it will be up to the individual recipient, as it were, to decide whether or not they want to paint this
or eat it.
or eat it. But
Yes.
if you are painting inclined, but maybe you're not, crystal brush or golden demon level, perhaps you should also ask Santa Claus for an ultrasonic cleaner and some strong detergent just in case, because you will need to strip this. But it is from Sirius, is the company. Sirius Metal Miniatures, 1977 Holmes box set. It's 3 miniatures. It does not drop until February of 2026. And the reason I say that's a good thing is if you are just now seeing this and you're like, oh my gosh, that would be perfect for this person or that person, or for me, I'm going to ask for it. Basically, what your recipient will get is, at this point in the game, is you can print out the purchase order and say, hey, look what's going to be here in February. But for me, as a gamer, and there you can see there's the front of the 2 minis, very, very nicely done. For me as a gamer, I mean, I can wait.
Yeah,
I can wait, and this is a very exciting looking set. Whether you game with this, whether you end up setting this on your desktop, and I think this clocks in at around $60.
50 US, 49.95.
$49.95.
Well, that's like $800 Canadian, I think.
But this particular set, $49.99. If you ask me for a metal dragon miniature,
and pewter too, so it's got that sort of
it's got a tiny bit of actual silver in it, I think. But for a nicely sculpted set that so wonderfully reproduces the Holmes basic cover, honestly, I think $49.95 is fine. I mean, you've got enough. Yeah. There's enough metal tied up in the dragon to be 3 to 4 miniatures, maybe even more, and then you've got 2 more. That's really like that's.
And pewter is just it's denser, it's heavier than the white metal things. It's going to be stronger. It's not going to have all the bending, breaking kind of. I mean, you could break it and bend it, obviously, but it's going to be a lot more durable. It'll have weight, like I say, deciding whether or not to paint it. I mean, it'll be a beautiful thing, unpainted. It'll be really nice just on its own. That's cool. That is seriously cool.
Scott, I was just going to say that it's got some heft if you want to throw it at players who insist on yet another shopping episode.
Yeah, you can. But I say get this for the dungeon delver in your life, who might be interested in this set.
And here's his address in Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a gorgeous set, and at this point, if you're shopping online, probably outside of Amazon, you're probably not going to get what you're after that soon anyway. So I do recommend Speaking of Metal Minis, Ralph Bartha Legacy. That's right. Ralph
Yes.
Bartha Legacy has gotten back in the swing of AD&D miniatures, and you're definitely not going to get them by Christmas. But if you have an old school miniature fan, and I meant to have this up as a tab, but anyway, guys, I will. You know what? I'm going to put this. Put this right there in a link, Yang, if you want to share that. But another one, miniature wise, that I meant to have.
Just before you go to the next one, I'm on the Sirius website now, and I assume that it detects where you are and sets the price accordingly, because I'm getting $73. So if you're in Canada, it's probably $73.
Yeah, that's edging towards. Is it really worth it? But then I don't know.
73 Canadian dollars. So
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a nickel. That's pretty good.
So for the other old school gamer, and we were talking about Stranger Things. I agree with you. Mirliton is a go-to. They have the John Dennett Demogorgon miniature as featured on the show. That is the actual miniature cast from the actual mold, sculpted way back when.
Nice.
But they also sell many of the classic Grenadier miniatures in sets, just like you could get. Now, these are by and large the gold box miniatures that TSR put out back in the day. But they don't have the TSR box branding. Unfortunately, the boxes in the art are no longer in circulation. But you can check out their Grenadier Classics lines. They have fighting men, specialists, thieves, all of that classic stuff.
Yeah,
that they made exclusively for TSR back in the day. And I recommend checking them out. They're a bit pricey with what you're going to pay for shipping, but I honestly think that if you love the classic AD&D gold box miniatures, Mirliton for the win for the person in your house who paints and enjoys minis. Next up, my next recommendation is get them the gift that keeps on giving. Get them first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Now, one thing that many of my fellow grognards, and I'm surprised by the number of people who come to me and say, oh, why doesn't Wizards put AD&D back in print? Well, they do. It is. You can go to Drive-Thru RPG. And again, another link I'm going to share here to Yang. Right now, you can get as much first edition AD&D in print as you can stand. You can give someone that 1983 Christmas under the tree, because all of the classics are available from Drive-Thru. For example, right now, and it's on sale, I should point out, the premium hardcover is currently $67.99. I find that the standard is just fine. Standard is a lighter weight paper and backing, but it's also half the price. But get them a Dungeon Master's Guide. Get them a physical copy of the Dungeon Master's Guide. Or, there we go. Or the Monster Manual. Did their cat pee on their Monster Manual and they haven't stopped grousing about it for 40 years? Get them a new one. It's available. You can go out and you can get first edition AD&D. You can make someone's Christmas by getting them the trio of classic books and watching them go to town. And then for modules, modules are a little bit chancier. Some of their modules, like Ravenloft, is available in a premium color, or rather a standard color, and the PDF. But then there are modules and supplements that are just not available. I think Monster Manual 2, for example, is only available as a soft cover, not a hardcover. But the point is, first edition AD&D, you can get classic miniatures, and you can get classic rules, and you can make someone's AD&D Christmas right then, right there. And the last item, I wish they were the OG covers too, Joe, that I have for suggested shopping is, you've bought them the miniatures, you've bought them that glorious Holmes basic dragon set to display proudly in their nerd cave. They're going to be playing AD&D, and if they're just learning to play AD&D, or they're bringing friends in who are just learning to play AD&D, man, making a character that can be quite the hurdle. Why not make it easier on your gamers this year? And right now, today, pick up a copy of a dynamic software-based character creation and management tool. Not just a character generator. You can go out on the internet and find web-based first edition AD&D character generators they'll make a character for you. Sure, they'll do it. But what about keeping track of that character, guys? What about it?
But Bill, does anyone make such a thing?
I'm glad you asked that, Dungeon Minister. I'm glad you asked that, because right now you can purchase a copy of CROM, the Character Record Organization Manager. And with this simple piece of software, this simple and easy piece of software that runs on Windows 8, 8.1, 10, and 11, 32 or 64-bit, Linux or Mac OS through Wine, you can create any first edition AD&D legal character race class alignment combo. You can purchase equipment for them. You can level them up. You could save in text or in HTML. Guys, it is without a doubt the most feature complete character creation software tool. And unlike the others, where you're going to have to wait till February when the miniature set releases, or shipping from Europe with the Grenadier from Mirliton, or shipping from Drive-Thru RPG, guys, you can have Krampus in your hands right now. CROM, rather. I'm looking at Krampus I generated. Let me see here. Let me share. Let me just show you guys. Go ahead and plug that up there, Yang, if you would.
I heard Grandpa's. You could have
You heard
I don't want Grandpa's in my hand.
Look at the detail in that character. We created Krampus just a couple of weeks ago, and there you go, guys. This is what you can do with CROM. Buy CROM. Yes, buy CROM. That's it. It is $25. It is a simple software download, and as I said, it runs on Windows 8, 8.1, 10, and 11, 32 or 64-bit, and that entitles you to any future updates to CROM, any bug fixes, anything like that. And so I strongly recommend CROM, the character character record organization manager. I English very goodly. But this is the ultimate tool, guys, a character record organization manager for creating and managing your first edition AD&D characters. Why spend a half an hour or even 15 minutes creating a character when you can do it in just a couple. If you're interested, if you wish to purchase a copy of Crom, you can email me, bsylvie@gmail.com, and purchase it today. Have it right now. Get it on a lovely flash drive for the D&D-er in your life. Just, run up to Target, grab yourself a flash drive, copy it over, and say, here is an application for creating and managing your classic 1E characters. Those are all my gift suggestions, gentlemen.
In addition to that, I mean, I have to say, it's great that they get the 1E Player's Guide, the DM Guide minis, and also the Character Creator. And what more could you ask for that? But what about a module to play? I think that, give them this at Christmas, so the loved one in your life has a chance to practice up their DM skills, and you can purchase a module for them.
Really,
Empire, yes, surprisingly. And that module will go to print in the summer, which is Empire of the Undying Sun, which is for both 1E and 5E, which, maybe grandma will get the editions confused and pick up 5E instead of 1E, and that's okay. We've got a version for that too. Empire of the Undying Sun is a horror campaign. We start with some New England type horror. There's something in the woods. We have zombie invasions, swashbuckling pirate adventures, and should the players be astute enough, they may make it to the Empire of the Undying Sun, where there are jungles teeming with creatures waiting to devour your flesh, deadly sands that at night you can hear the voices of the dead. You have ancient ruins, which may hold magical items or death. And at the end, your players will make a decision that will change the fate of the world forever. In addition to standard adventure stories, we have rules for playing in the Dream Realm, where your players can experience dreams, but with dreams comes nightmares. Perhaps they will meet a god, perhaps they will meet an ancient source of evil. Only the greatest will survive. We have light wargaming rules, a ton of fun, and completely compatible with AD&D 1E. So go ahead and check that out if you dare.
Cool.
Yeah. Now I have to. I know I was very subtle, and you guys totally didn't realize that I was about to pitch Crom, but here I'm just going to be very bold-faced about it. Yang was kind enough to ask me to work on Empire of the Undying Sun, and I have had so much fun. We Yang and I sat down the other night actually, and we well, I don't want to spoil, but there's a system in there that if you, as a first edition AD&D DM, want to use it, we have got like a secondary skills plus system in there that is so cool. It is so cool. It's optional, but it was so much fun just sitting down and designing that. It's already there for 5e. We repurposed it for 1e, and that's just a little tiny taste of it, just a little tiny sample of the awesomeness that is in Empire of the Undying Sun. I heartily endorse it. I give it 2 thumbs up myself. Purchase that for someone you love who loves classic TTRPG, or they play modern stuff. Yang, I think somebody could probably ably use this with Shadow Dark, could they not?
Yeah, it should be pretty easy conversion, and I imagine if you pick up the 1E version, going over to Castles and Crusades shouldn't take that much effort.
Yeah, it is very it is very flexible, and I just realized I'm half cut off there. Sorry about that. It is very flexible. I think whatever fantasy system you're running, Shadow Dark, Castles and Crusades, AD&D, 5e, obviously. Heck, I'll even throw in a sub. If it's going to fit in AD&D, you might even be able to wrench it into BECME. You're going to have a good time. I think it's just for the fantasy gamer in your household. Empire of the Undying Sun is definitely a must-have for the holiday season, and they can put their order in now. Correct, Yang?
Absolutely, it is still in demand. Or sorry, not in demand. Late pledge, late backers.
Yes.
That's what Kickstarter calls it.
It is in demand because people are still getting out there and getting copies, and you should.
That's right. Yeah, so it will probably stay that way until the spring, when we are ready to go to print and I need a final number.
Cool. Right on.
All right. Dungeon Minister, any gift suggestions?
Aside from Crom and Empire of the Undying Sun, yes, I had a pencil and a binder full of graph paper.
Okay, graph paper. I didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah, man. No, because there's a lot of because we were going to do this gift thing, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll look at what's out there. There's you can get all sorts of battle mats and minis and displays and a 3D printer to make your minis and all that. And these things are fabulous. Don't get me wrong. We play with miniatures on the table all the time. I just have here's one actually that would be really cool, and I can't remember who makes this, but it's Alina the Cleric.
Oh, nice.
She looks fabulous. And
I'm a Morgan Iron Wolf guy myself, but
I wish I could remember who made that. Somebody does, and somebody in the chat probably knows. But there's all sorts of wonderful stuff. But ultimately, you know what? The books, some paper and a pencil, and you've got the game. And when I was a teenager, graph paper was gold. And trying to actually come across the bloody stuff. And I imagine now you run to Staples, you go on Amazon and you get it, and it's not as big of a deal, but that was always gold. And hex paper as well. I actually took the expert rule book and to the library, where if you put in your library your copy card and hit copy and pulled the thing out in time, it wouldn't charge your card. And got a whole bunch of hex paper for free. I imagine the technology has improved. So
somewhat, yes.
Somewhat. Yeah. Those things and fancy dice. I've never been a dice goblin. I've had the same dice since I was 12, and as long as it rolls random, it doesn't matter what dice you're rolling, as long as it's still actually random and it hasn't cracked and gone weird. You don't, the fun. Yeah, the dice is fun. Go collect the dice. Great, but
I have pity for those. Well, you got to put your die in a cup of warm salt water, and to see whether it's biased or not. I just know.
At some point, but I think the underlying thing for me, other than of course the platinum edition of Goonies on DVD and Blu-ray, but I think whatever you get, if you can get it from your local shop, and keep that community in the pink, right? I mean, that's where so much of sort of synchronicity happens, and so much of a nexus in a community. If you're in a place where you don't have, your friends aren't interested, they don't want to play, and your AI dungeon master has only been coming up with so many fresh ideas. It's the 13th time that you've gone into a tower, and you're like, okay, I'm getting sick of towers. You want to play with real humans, that's a place to go.
Nice.
That's a place to go.
I am going to recommend one more now that we are here. And this has to do with mapping software. Evera Games, which is Dean and Vicky Jowett. And they have a classic maps feature where you can easily create your own maps. Classic style maps, 12 dungeon walls, 23 cavern walls, 11 doors, and whatnot. This is great, especially for people who a lot of people like battle maps these days, which are fantastic. But when you try to reduce those to like a standard printed piece of paper, a lot of the details get washed out and whatnot. With this, it's very easy. If you are creating games, you want other DMs to be able to see exactly what you created, or just for yourself. I have found it really helps to have a very clean and simple form of map that you can go through as your players are going through a dungeon, so you don't miss things. You don't confuse a trap for just a normal table sitting in a room or whatnot. And then with this, have your battle maps next to it. So I highly recommend these. And as they say here, human created without AI. But they are out. I actually will be talking with them on Monday about this and their new gaming system. But I quite like this. I recommend it. It is something that I am going to be using in the future. Classic Maps, which they have on Drive-Through RPG. Did I put that? I did not. Okay. So here is the link to that. And you can get them now.
Excellent.
By the way, there was something sitting right here that would fill for my. If you're looking for something that's sort of very cool adventures, but distinctly kid friendly in style and artwork, but still also entertaining for the adults, Kwood Publishers, which is a Canadian publishing company, has just released a new one, Ghosts of Wrath, and they do a lot of good stuff. They did the Eyes of the Mushroom King. They've got some great resource books. If you want to throw a monster, and you've got an old crew, they've been playing for years, they know the monster manual inside and out. Every time you come up against a troll, their first level characters somehow know that to use acid and fire, right? They just know, even they've never fought one before, but they understand, use acid and fire. Their books have gobs of new monsters, so you're not, the old guys who know exactly what they're facing. Oh, you don't know this because you've never seen this thing before. They're a lot of fun. So I do recommend, if you're looking for something, they're written with 5e in mind, but they are convertible easily, and they include conversion instructions to get to like a OSE or AD&D kind of format. So it's not hard to transition. Sorry, realized it was sitting there, and I should probably mention it.
It's all good. One thing I was gonna to add a bit is, I see not to the Kwood Publishing thing, but there's something. This is like one of the coolest things I purchased, and I haven't scratched the surface of it. I gotta lean over here. My headphone cord is shortened, so I don't constantly step on it and trip over it. So bear with me just a second while I grab this off the shelf here. Hold on a second.
You go.
And just a reminder for everyone that Goonies is still available to watch on Netflix to the end of the month. Go watch it now while you can. It's a great film for the family while everyone's there for the holidays.
Absolutely.
Here we go. If you like Mega Dungeons and you're following Dungeon Minister's advice,
ooh,
this is a pad of graph paper, 17 by 22. I got this at an office supply store. This is massive. You can use this for disposable battle mats by just going with 4x4 squares for your maps, or you can make god awful huge standard TSR maps. But I mean,
that's cool. Without having to tape together a whole bunch of pieces of paper.
Without having to tape together a bunch. Yeah, you wanna talk Mega Dungeon, 1-level Mega Dungeon? There you go. Yang knows what time it is. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I think when I bought this new, because it's been years, I think I paid like, I don't know, $12 or something for it. So it may be a little bit more now. But yeah, you got a loved one in your life. Who remembers getting big giant coloring books as stocking stuffers when you were a kid?
Heck yeah. Those
right? You know, you get the big Marvel or and by the way, I just want to put in something real quick. This has nothing to do with D&D or anything. It has everything to do with the season. Parents, friends, loved ones, don't buy your loved one like an expensive, fancy Christmas themed Christmas gift. They can use it that day and maybe a week thereafter, and then it's basically useless for the rest of the year. So just think about that when you're buying them the big giant coloring book. Maybe don't go with the Santa Claus one, but because who wants to be sitting around in hot sticky July like, well, I guess I'll color in my coloring book. Oh, look, Christmas, that's all I got, you know. But yeah, this is the D&D nerd equivalent of those big giant coloring books we get as stocking stuffers. So if you're gonna get the classic D&D books and get all that sort of stuff, but you also want to get some graph paper, consider a giant graph paper pad. Yes. So you can see your nascent DM just stretched out under the Christmas tree, scribbling their death traps away in their footy pajamas on Christmas morning. If your nascent DM is in their 40s, just kind of roll with it because it's Christmas.
And I just looked up where this Alina came from. Unfortunately, it's Otherworld Miniatures, and they're defunct. Someone said they picked up a number of their models. I don't know if this is one of them.
There's a few different companies that have picked up their miniatures, and yes, unfortunately, Otherworld is they are gone. The creator just wanted to retire, and I completely get that.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing about with the rise of small, creators and small businesses like that are really just like a guy in a garage. Mm-hmm. The upside is there's so much out there now. There's so much going on, and there's opportunities to enter the market in a niche mm-hmm. way and to fill a particular need, and you can get really cool stuff. There's a lot of variety. The downside is you say, like, I'm going to build a goblin army, 12 goblins at a time, and you've gotten 12, and you're about to get your next, and you discover that the guy retired. It's like, bro,
yeah,
I can't find those goblins anymore.
Or he's like a true garage company, and it's like, well, when I print up another batch, or cast another batch, or whatever I do, I'll let you know. And you're like, oh, I got to remember that. And then 6 months roll by. Oh, I need to check on that. Just finished another batch. I'll let you guys know when I'm doing the next one. And it's just like,
yeah.
It's funny you mentioned coloring books, though. I had been toying with the idea of taking the art from Empire of the Undying Sun, which is all black and white, and making a coloring book out of that.
Yeah,
Do it. That would be cool.
it'd be fun.
Kind
Kind of creepy coloring book, but
Well,
I suppose there's probably a Stranger Things coloring book. I bought the boys Stranger Things cereal the other month. I just thought at the grocery store while I was going to get pizza for the D&D group at the church, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll grab Stranger Things cereal. Why not?
That's cool. I didn't know they still did that.
No.
Made cereal just for that. The last one I remember is Nintendo, when they had like half a box Mario, half a box Zelda cereal.
Yes.
All sugar.
And you know what? Here we go. This is I suppose we can add this to the holiday gifts. There we go.
Oh.
It will not get here by Christmas. Fastest delivery is December 20th to January 2nd. But there you go. The official Netflix Stranger Things coloring book. Kids.
So creepy. Oh my gosh, that's creepy.
Oh, I hope they have like a Find the Demigorgons in the background type of image. Or Find Will.
Yeah.
So there you guys go.
Those pictures. I'm thinking there's going to be a niche market for that, and I'm not thinking that you want your name associated with it when the FBI seizes your laptop. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Can we get a hard drive check on that guy, please? Is basically, yeah. So
wait, what? There's Stranger Things pizza.
Stranger Things pizza.
You know what?
Hey, there's
awesome?
A sticker book. Look, guys, there's a sticker book.
Oh man, they're riding that.
You know what would be great with the Stranger Things pizza is if they delivered it to you upside down.
Given how Amazon treated a gift that I had asked for and really wanted last year, my Macross Valkyrie model kit.
Oh yeah.
I would not be surprised if it arrived upside down.
Let's see. So, I found the.
Here, I'll take that.
There you go. Yeah, if you want to throw that up. If you want to throw that up on there, Yang.
There we go.
Demogorgon Crunch.
Wow.
I mean, it was ridiculous, and we got the cereal, and it was utterly absurd.
But did it taste good?
For dice, it was just basically honeycomb with marshmallows. Right?
Okay.
It's just honeycomb, and then Demogorgons, flashlights, and D20 as the marshmallows.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, the package.
Did it come with a toy in the box though?
No, you'd think it did, but it did come.
That's bonkers.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
It did come with a cursed artifact, though, so there was that. No, it's just it's the package is the point, right? The package, the cereal is sort of pointless. It's the package.
Yeah, I mean, it's 29 cents worth of corn syrup.
Yeah, syrup flavored cereal. It says right there, syrup flavored.
Yeah.
But if they had a little plastic Demigorgon mini on there, you know how many more people would have bought that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it would have been the number one cereal for 2025.
Yeah. Also, it's at $30 a box. That better have a lot more.
This is on eBay. I mean, I got it for like $4 Canadian. You know, it was nothing.
That's like 50 cents US.
Yeah, it's about. Yeah. So
no, I think that's kind of cool. I mean, if you can pick it up cheap and you have a Stranger Things fan, loved one in your life, why not?
Yeah. It's goofy, it's silly, you know.
I'm reminded
they had on the same display there was Wicked cereal, which it was green. It's basically.
Oh, right. Yeah, the Wicked Witch of the West retelling that, which is one of the strangest things, not Stranger Things, one of the oddest things, because that was literally a guy just like wrote Wizard of the Oz fan fiction, and people are like, "Yep, this is canon now."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very odd. Very, very odd.
Well, gentlemen, we are almost to the year 2026.
Oh.
Into
Does
the
anyone
future.
else hear that and just get tired?
Yeah.
Listen, for 2026 years, can I just take a break?
As long as I don't think about the year that I was born, it's fine.
Yeah.
Or do math. But what are you guys looking forward to for next year?
Is the sweet embrace of death an answer? Is that an acceptable answer?
Padre,
It
don't
could
say
be.
that. You're on Canadian internet. They'll show
I
up and
know.
make it happen.
Yeah, true.
That's true. Merry Christmas, Padre. Yeah.
Matey Christmas. Oh, that got dark fast. For myself, I'm actually I've actually got a fun year ahead of me. I will be at Page, Philadelphia Area Gamers Expo. That's just in a few weeks, by the way. That's in like 3 weeks. I'll be there because I've taken leave of all of my senses and decided to travel north of that old Manson-Nixon line in winter. I'll just have to wear all of my clothes at once while I'm there, so I don't freeze to death.
The 7 layers of shorts.
Seven layers of Bermuda shorts and all of my Hawaiian shirts. But I will be at Page. I believe it is the weekend of January the 15th. They want me to set up a little interview booth and get on the internet. Oh no, me on the internet. Whatever will I do? And then in the summer, in much more agreeable weather time, I will be at EggCon. Heidi and Eric were kind enough to invite me back up to EggCon this year, and I'm really looking forward to that. Something else is far be it from me to plug my own self-interest on what is ostensibly a group show, but I am homing in on or is it homing with an M or honing with an N?
Are you sharpening something or zeroing in on something?
Zeroing in. So I think it's homing. But
you can just keep zeroing in to make it.
I'm zeroing in on 10,000 subs for my YouTube channel. And that's not just me tooting my own horn because we get banned from YouTube if I get caught doing that. But it is a landmark. It is a high water mark that I've set for myself, whereby when the Delver's Dungeon, when I hit 10,000 subscriptions, it is going to activate the move towards having an in real life gaming convention. I'll still call it the Guac, only the O will mean Overland, the great underground overland gaming convention. Now, when I say it will activate, it will initiate the process. It's kind of like, when they're holding before a launch, right? You're watching a rocket go up and they're like, and we're holding for 30 minutes. Well, that 30 minutes could stretch for hours. That could be like, well, we've got there's a boat too close to the launch pad. The winds at this altitude are too high. We got to wait.
No, Bill. When you hit 10,000, the next day we're showing up.
The next day I have to have the venue, the badges, the guests.
The heck with the venue. We're just at your house.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You better make sure there's coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And fresh towels.
Yeah. I like my eggs over easy, please.
Oh my God. What have I done? But it was moving so slowly over the summer that I did the calculation. I'm like, it's going to be 4 more years before I hit 10,000 subs at the current subscription rate. And I was content with that. And then I decided, hey, I'm going to experiment with those YouTube shorts. And so I started at the beginning of November doing YouTube shorts. And at the current metric, it will be like February when I hit 10,000 subs on the channel. That is when the Get a Venue and look at getting the thing set up goes. And I'll be talking to you a lot about that, Dungeon Minister. Tapping your vast knowledge with Claricon, because you in the fall of 2026,
Yes.
Claricon
4 this year. Good heavens.
Good night, Claricon 4.
Yeah. Actually, what I am looking forward to in this year, though, is my my new studio being finished. I've had to vacate the place where I've been recording for the last 4 years. Just access to it is not available anymore, and it's just even if it becomes available again, the house has. I mean, I started the channel during lockdown, so nobody was around anywhere. And then, things slowly ramped up, and now the house is rented. There's some therapists who rent space in the church house, and so they're in and out, and their clients are in and out all the time, and etc. So even if I got access to the space again tomorrow, it's so busy there that unless I go at like 1 a.m. to go do my recording, I'm getting footsteps above my head. So I've begun building a studio here in our basement, where I'll still have to record at 1 a.m, but at least I won't have to get into the car to do it. So, once everyone's in bed, the dog's in his crate, the birds shut up for the night, and I can be down in the basement. So I'm building that. It involves a great deal of cleaning. I had to put up a wall for a backdrop, all this kind of stuff, lighting and all kind of figuring out the positions of things. The great thing about it is that it can just stay there. I don't have to worry about taking it down, packing it into crates, moving it around, and then setting it up again. I could just leave it. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that process being finished and getting back to recording videos, because I haven't recorded anything for a while now. So
yeah, I've been watching some of the build out videos that you've been doing, Padre. Building the tabletop and that sort of thing. And I wanted, if you got the time and wherewithal, I mean, a lot of those gaps in that table, you could go resin with that.
I could. Resin has always been a thing that I have two relationships with resin. One, my concern that I would just screw it up. The other, the number of videos I see of hipster guys making resin tabletops using like half of a log and and it's like, no, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So I have a bit of a love-hate with resin. But yes, I've thought about ways of feeling that's really what I thought about doing, is taking the tabletop off of the structure beneath and actually just adding a thin, 1/4-inch ply underneath just to give it. Yeah. But it really, you know what? Again, I'm not doing anything. I just sit at the table. It holds the statues and stuff, and so. But yes,
it's fun. It's fun to watch you do the build out, man. It really is. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's been fun to do. So that's what I'm looking forward to in 2026.
Excellent.
Right on. Excellent.
Well, I myself, I'm going to start off by saying I'm looking forward to Rudiger's Almanac, which to me, it looks like a very interesting project. This is by friend of the channel, Richard Witters, former art director for AD&D and Magic the Gathering, and
for Dungeons and Dragons, not AD&D. I don't think he goes back that far.
sorry, Dungeons and Dragons.
Which is no patch on him. Richard makes fantastic art, and he loves classic D&D. I just don't think he was there in 77.
No, but he has played it. He has played it. That was his thing growing up, and it seems to be an interesting kind of game. A lot of it sort of harkens back to AD&D, but it seems to be a bit simplified. The player's handbook and DMG is all in one compact booklet, which is great. A few modern conventions that he has included to make it more fun, but ultimately he is trying to get back. He has said he's trying to find a good system to play games as though Fafhrd and the Grey Mouse and a Princess of Mars, like adventure feelings. So I am looking forward to that. And also, he will be on my channel running a game. I am hoping to start a new series next year, which is some actual plays testing out different games. And hopefully we
Other
will...
side of the street, pal. I'm just kidding, dude.
So hopefully that will work out well. And in addition, I am looking forward to Fridays next year, where I believe Gamma World has seen its last day. I assume off camera, a giant global nuclear war has destroyed everything, and I will be in a group that is doing some kind of sci-fi something, which will be a fun change of pace over on the Dungeon Delvers channel.
Yes,
Tater, though he is.
We will be resuming some actual play stuff in January. I'm looking forward to that. And you can maybe you can just follow me over there, and for your week to week, we've got guests lined up. Also, I have coming up two more live streams in December. My month off. We are going to be doing an interview tomorrow afternoon with Rob Kuntz.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I will get the details posted up on that, but Rob will be in studio tomorrow. And then Christmas night, Mrs. the Dungeon Delver will be right here in the studio with me, if not LinkedIn, if she's not sitting back comfortable somewhere else in the household, but she will be on stream with me, and we will have our gift drawings and all sorts of fun stuff.
Excellent. Yes, and I hopefully will be attending some cons in the second half of the year at any rate, and I am hoping to bring with me some printed versions of some of the adventure modules that you can get with Empire of the Undying Sun, should you choose.
Cool.
Excellent.
Mark Dickey in the comments just said Crooked Dice has the Alina Mini, and I found it. If you want to throw that up there.
Nope, that is mine. This one.
There you go. Cleric with mace. Not named for legal reasons, but that is the same. That's the same mini as the one I'm holding. So yeah, that is it. There, Cleric with mace. $10 Canadian.
I think that's a hay penny.
Yeah, that's just a
handful
one hair
of
from your head. Yeah, yeah. So she looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. There you go. All right.
Very cool.
Well, it's about time for me to deal with some of the massive amount of Chinese food that's been working its way through me.
I'm surprised you haven't fallen asleep yet.
It's all the coffee. Yeah, but Quinzel also Fleetwood tells me he just swam a kilometer. There you go. I don't know how he swam a kilometer with that much because he ate twice as much as I did. But there it is.
But he's a teenager, so you know.
He is the teenager.
It's that second stomach. All right. Well, with that, we have come to the end of a meeting. If you haven't already, please sign the guest book by giving us a thumbs up, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel for the next meeting as we start the new year with vicious plans to dominate the world for the force of good or profit. One or two.
And remember, do it now while it's still voluntary.
And Goonies is still available on Netflix until the end of the month. Good night, everyone.